Jack, where are you? Could you please come to my study for a moment?
Sure, what happened, Dad?
Your teacher called me today to give me an update on your academic performance because your half-yearly exam is coming up next month.
Don't worry, Dad. My studies are going well. I always submit my assignments on time and do well in my weekly quizzes.
Nice, dear, but your teacher told me that your performance has dropped to average this year. She is concerned that you are not giving your 100% because earlier you used to be at the top of your class.
It's nothing like that. Right now, I'm under a lot of pressure from school and the coaching center. Keeping up with everything is a bit overwhelming, and I'm getting little to no time for self-study. Every day, I have a lot of homework assigned to me by my school faculty as well as the faculty of my coaching center. It's difficult to keep up with everything, and it makes me tired all the time. But don't worry, I shall do my best in my half-yearly exams.
I understand, and I believe you are doing your best, but I think you lack discipline in your life.
But Dad, I think I'm quite disciplined. I always finish my homework on time, never miss an event, and submit my assignment first in class. I never arrive late at school or the coaching center. Did you ever receive any complaints about my lack of discipline?
Son, pay attention. Being disciplined requires more than just being punctual. Being on time is not enough. If you want to achieve your goals, you also need to manage your time efficiently and remain active and focused.
I am focused on my goals, but I have a lot on my plate right now, which is why I am constantly exhausted. I want to perform better, but there is so much stress.
That is why I want you to understand the importance of discipline in student life. A disciplined life allows you to choose and then stick with actions, thoughts, and behaviors that lead to improvement and success. It also provides you with the power and inner strength to overcome addictions, procrastination, and laziness, as well as to maintain a positive attitude in everything you do.
But I have never dealt with anything like this before. Some subjects require more attention, but with all of my school and coaching center tasks, I don't have enough time to study all of my subjects. I mean, I always start with the subjects that require much more attention, but it exhausts me so much that I don't have the energy to study the remaining subjects.
Son, if you are not getting results from your current routine, you can change it. For example, if you try to study subjects that you are good at and that take less time to complete, you will be able to focus on more difficult subjects more easily.
I understand, and I totally agree with you. However, the homework I received from school and the coaching center is enough to consume all of my time. I literally need 3 to 4 hours to complete my homework.
After school, you always take a 2-hour nap, and then, after coaching center, you go out with your friends for an hour. Previously, it did not cause much trouble because early classes did not require a lot of effort, but as you progress to higher classes, you must pay close attention to all of your subjects.
But last week, when I was sick, I stayed home and continued to struggle with my studies, and relieving stress is also important since I am unable to study all of the time.
Because you spend so much time watching Netflix. Stress relief is necessary, but you must also practice self-control. For example, if napping for 2 hours is necessary to relax your mind, try to spend all of the extra hours studying only. You can meet your friends on weekends, and for mini breaks, you can go for a walk. Watching videos can result in binging, which wastes a lot of time.
You are right, Dad. Even I feel that I waste a lot of time scrolling through my phone.
Son, I don't want you to be stressed. I simply want you to give your 100%. You can not only improve your grades by leading a disciplined life, but you can also set a good example for your friends. Also, you can help them understand how changing small habits and living a disciplined life can benefit them in a variety of ways.
Yes, Dad, I understand. Thank you for helping. I will try my best to improve myself.
Yes, son, just give it your best. If you need any help, I am always here to help you.
Thank you so much, Dad.
Okay. So, Vyasan, what do you think is the most important? Hard work or talent? Or what is more useful?
That's an interesting question, because I think they both play a role in whatever task that you are doing, but personally, I think that hard work is more important than talent. And I shall give you a couple examples of why I feel hard work is more important. I think in order to master any skill, whether it's singing, whether it's dancing, whether it is performing well at a task, you need to stay focused on the task at hand. And some people are naturally good at that task. For example, if I am really quick at typing on the computer, I shall be able to print out multiple spreadsheets, complete a lot of work and finish my assignments faster. However, I believe to really go above and beyond and master that skill, with that talent, hard work needs to be attributed as well. Without hard work, even if you are at typing on the computer, you might not want to feel like typing on a computer. You might be lazy and you just might not want to do that task. But hard work trains you to become good at a task, and do it very well, master it, and become efficient with your time. And so, that's why I think hard work outweighs talent, because I think there's more dedication in hard work, there's regimen in the hard work, and once you have mastered hard work in a specific skill, I think you can master it a lot more easier than someone who is naturally talented at that task.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I think you pretty much summed it up though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree that hard work is more important than talent, and you could be very talented, but if you don't have the work ethic, then it does not really matter. Or especially if we are thinking about getting jobs. So, yeah, hard work definitely is more important.
Is there a task that you have spent a lot of time at and given that hard work to master?
I started playing guitar 3 years ago, and I never played an instrument before. And usually I can be very lazy when learning new things. I get unmotivated very quickly. But one day I was just like, okay, I have a guitar lying around. I just really want to learn how to play now. And I just put in a lot of work and hours, and now I play the guitar, and I am very proud of myself, because I put that work into. And maybe, if I was born with a talent to just play guitar, that would be cool, but I would not have the same satisfaction of putting my mind to it and getting good. Yeah, so I don't know what I was going to say.
Yeah, well, that's a good example of using hard work and something that you like to do. That's amazing, yeah. So, do you think there's any exceptions where talent is more important than hard work?
I think so. Maybe especially in the entertainment business. You could put in a lot of hours, but if you want to be really good, like a really famous actor, or a really famous singer, they will choose the more talented ones, and often the most talented ones are the ones with the predisposed talent. If that makes sense. Oh, I don't know what I was going to say. Sorry.
Here's an example I have. So, one of my interests is basketball, and usually the highest level of basketball is, I would say, the NBA, the National Basketball Association, which is run in America and Canada. And usually, lots of basketball players are very tall.
Right.
For that reason, they are able to have longer limbs. They are able to do a lot more things with the basketball. For example, jump, shoot, run with the basketball and play the sport at a more higher level than someone who did not have those natural, physical traits. And so, I would say that, in that case, talent, if someone who's talented at basketball, would be at a slightly more advantageous position than someone who, for example, myself, I am 5'6", who puts a lot of hard work into basketball, but just can't beat someone who's 6'4", and just runs extremely quick because they are talented.
Right.
So, that might be one example of where talent, in some cases, beats hard work.
Yeah. And I think the same goes for singing, for example. You could practice singing, but if you are just born with a very beautiful voice, then maybe you are better off performing, for example.
Hello, James. James? Hello, James.
Oh, sorry, Jack, you caught me napping. It's that time of day when I need to nod off, or in other words, fall asleep.
Well, sleeping on the job or sleeping at work is no bad thing, and I hope today's conversation will wake you up to the idea that sleeping in the workplace might be a good thing.
Oh, really? That's good to hear. I would have thought that sleeping at work was against the rules.
Not in every office, James, and I shall tell you why soon, as well as explaining some sleep-related vocabulary. But now you are wide awake, how about a question?
Okay, let's hear it.
When the former British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, was in power, she did her job with very little sleep. Do you know how many hours of sleep she is said to have had each night? A. 3 hours. B. 4 hours. C. 5 hours.
I always thought she got by. She managed her job with just 4 hours of sleep a night.
Not much, is it? We shall find out if you are right or wrong later. I am not sure if she chose not to sleep for long or she just was not able to sleep for long. Someone who can't sleep is called an insomniac.
And I am certainly not an insomniac. I enjoy sleeping all night and some of the day too. And Jack, you said napping during the day is a good thing?
It's always nice to have a short sleep or what I call 40 winks during the day, but when you are at work this can be a problem. In some companies, like Google and the Huffington Post, workplace naps are positively encouraged. They are seen as a way to make staff more productive.
So you mean they work harder and are more creative because a power nap, a quick sleep, makes workers feel refreshed and more alert. I like the sound of this.
An Australian health writer called Thea O'Connor is a founder of a campaign called NAP Now, which is trying to make sleeping at work more acceptable. She calls herself a naptivist. What does she say is stopping us from doing this? Thea O'Connor says, I think that our culture is a bit crazy not to embrace it, and one of the reasons we don't is our attitude. You know, it's quite countercultural to do nothing in order to get ahead. I just really see that it's time to disrupt the prevailing work ethic, which is all about work longer and harder.
Right. So she wants us to embrace, to accept the idea of a workplace power nap. But it is our attitude, the way we think about work, that stops society from accepting this.
Yes, she explains that it is countercultural, so going against the normal way of thinking, to actually do nothing and have a snooze.
That's why she is trying to change or disrupt our current work ethic of working longer and harder. She believes this does not necessarily bring better results. But Jack, is this idea just a fad? Something that's popular for a short while?
Maybe, but research has certainly shown that good quantity and quality of sleep is important for our well-being. A few years ago, research by the East of England Development Agency found 30% of people have their best ideas in bed compared to just 11% who have them at their desk. It called for companies to install beds in the workplace.
Well, there are not any in our office yet, Jack. I think putting beds or areas for naps in the office would help us workers feel more able to rest and recharge our minds.
An alternative idea would be to change our working hours. The UK's Sleep Council claims the 9-to-5 work culture does not fit into the natural sleeping pattern of the human race, and bosses need to introduce a more sleep-friendly working day.
That sounds like a siesta to me, a short period of sleep in the middle of the day that people in warm places like Spain often have.
My problem with a siesta is that if I have a sleep in the afternoon, I would never wake up.
Well, before you nod off now, Jack, could you please tell me the answer to today's question?
Yes. I asked you if you knew how many hours of sleep the former British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, is said to have had each night? 3, 4, or 5 hours?
I said 4 hours, Jack.
You are right. It has often been said she needed just 4 hours of sleep, only on weekdays, not weekends. Well, before you have another power nap, could you remind me of some of the vocabulary you have heard today?
Yes, we heard. Napping. Nod off. Sleeping on the job. Insomniac. 40 winks. Power nap. Naptivist. Attitude. Countercultural. Work ethic. Well-being. 9 to 5. Siesta.
Thanks. I hope you have enjoyed today's conversation. James, would you like to know the definition of the vocabulary which you have mentioned?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Number 1. Napping. Sleeping for a short period of time. Number 2. To nod off. To fall asleep. Number 3. Sleeping on the job. Sleeping when you should be working. Number 4. Insomniac. A person who has difficulty falling asleep. Number 5. 40 winks. Nap for a short period of time. Number 6. Power nap. A short sleep that gives you energy. Number 7. Naptivist. A made-up name for someone who actively campaigns for napping at work. Number 8. Attitude. Opinion or feeling about something. Number 9. Countercultural. Opposite to what most people think or do. Number 10. Work ethic. Belief about how we should work. Number 11. Well-being. Feeling of being happy and healthy. Number 12. 9 to 5. Regular office hours. Often from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Number 13. Siesta. Rest or sleep taken after lunch, especially in hot countries.